and see me now. Believe you also got an email today letting you know that this week Friday, will be my last market wrap. Um, as I starting something new after this week, and so um, parting ways with T3. It's been great. It really has been. Um, Something that I have no regrets, and had a great time, and really enjoyed, and something that in the beginning of my trading career uh, was always a dream. Not necessarily to kind of share trades and broadcast and be part of a room, but just to trade successfully. That was such a big dream, and especially in the beginning, at times it just seemed like I had so far to go. And so yeah, it's been great. And it's just to have another opportunity that I'm fortunate to have, and gonna pursue. So yeah, this week will be the last week of market wraps. Friday will be the last one. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for September 28th, 2022. Q's here, getting that break over that base that we talked about yesterday. Okay, we would need to get a move up, hold, actually establish some kind of uptrend here on the hourly. Okay, what would we need from an uptrend? Higher high and a higher low. Okay, so far, what do we have? We have a little bit of a higher high, but if we look at the lows, it's still down here. So if we get a pullback that holds, right, and moves back up, okay, fine. Hourly will then be in an uptrend. Okay, right now we still don't have that, although the hourly has done enough to at least break the downtrend. So where does that leave us? For tomorrow, in the short term, neutral for me. Okay, neutral. As we move up, we're going to be moving up into some resistance, and we're going to be potentially forming a sell setup on the daily into this declining 20 MA. Okay, so downtrend still on the daily. Hourly is losing the downtrend, but that doesn't necessarily make it bullish. Okay, we saw a similar attempt at a move higher here. Okay, so as it tries to transition higher, we'll be watching for that daily sell setup. All right, basically a retracement play back to the 20 MA. From there, if we break below a previous bar's low, all right, then we'll trigger the daily sell setup. All right, so really same goes for Qs and SPY. We outlined the base on both yesterday. If we break above, then for the short term, neutral. Longer term, still bearish. What would we have to see in the coming days to no longer be bearish in the longer term? We'd have to move up, attempt to come in, and then fail on an attempt to come in. So what could that look like? If, let's say, we got this bar, and then instead of making a new low as we did, let's say, after coming in like this over the next few days, actually rallied back higher, and then we broke above this pivot, which would be your high for that sell setup, the pivot high. Okay, if that had happened, then yeah, we'd no longer be bearish on the daily. Okay, so but as it happened, the bearishness continued and we stayed weak. Okay, and so we've been bearish now ever since that gap down, ever since the continuation of the daily downtrend, with really no reason not to be, really until today. Today we're trying to break above, but there's not enough bullishness here just because the larger picture here is bearish. Okay? All right. Let's get into the plays from today. Gave you numbers for the tops this morning, just as a little bit of a pullback here. Kind of sloppy. You can see it moved up and then pulled back, and this ended up being where the numbers came from, right in there. So pull back into a little bit of a base. Triggered and then started to look to struggle a little bit. Yeah, I actually, I got a question like I think it was right either here or here. It was a couple minutes apart from when it started to actually get going in the right direction. Do we get out? Should we kill it? Do we, and my answer was, I'm going to stick with it. The stop isn't. And the reason for that, not every play that doesn't act right you want to stick with. But if you're playing some of these plays, right, and the reason I'm playing this, you see this is where the gap was. I'm playing this for the big target, right? Maybe to $4, maybe beyond, right? That's reason I'm playing for this. And I know it's wild. Had 4 or 5 cent spread. Okay, so on a stock that is barely breaking $3, right? That means we have 1 to 2% spread consistently. That's pretty wild. 1 to 2% spread between the bid and the offer pretty consistently. That means the thing that you're playing probably wild, going to be spready. You can see here, pretty thin most days. Okay, so when you're gonna play something like that, you can't overmanage. You really can't go too deep into the chart, right? Because you could look at this and say, okay, remember our stop is here. You could look at that and say, well, that's kind of a topping tail. That's an inside bar. Underneath that, it's probably no good, right? Well, what does it do? It kind of comes in a little bit and goes right back up, right? And again, you could overanalyze, right? Oh, what's a red bar and then a big topping tail? What would you expect the next move to be? Lower, right? A topping tail is bearish. A big red bar is bearish. What's the next bar? A big green bar, right? Now, big green bar, what would you expect the next bar to be? Maybe a small bar, but another bar and a move up. And then what did it do? Came back in. So on something like this, you get the entry, you get the stop, and it either is going to work or not work. That's my approach on these. Otherwise, if you're the type to overmanage, once you're in something, you just can't help but, really dive in and go bar by bar on the management and analyze it. Then don't play these kind of plays. Okay, so I think it was probably around here. Do I kill it? I said no. I'm sticking with it. It might not work. That's always the case anytime we take the play. And then it started going. Okay, so it eventually did start going. Was able to get most of of it out, but like I said, I was looking for the bigger target, something closer to $4. Okay, so on the last runner piece, the last runner piece did come all the way back down. It looked good right here, like this was gonna be, if I was gonna get a chance to get to that bigger target, that was gonna happen, and then look what happened, right? So like I said, this thing is wild. Okay, now the other thing with these things being wild, not only is it hard to manage, because when it was doing this, as you can see, like this bar here, from 58 to 23, that's a 35 cent move, right? Over 10% move in 1 minute, and my stop was 28 cents, so that's 1 hour difference. While it was doing all this, I missed a really good play. Now I wasn't a nit on the first glance of this DNA. I wasn't thinking, oh, I really have to play this. I did mention it in the room when I came across it. It said DNA is setting up a breakout, and I kind of moved on from there. I kept scanning, but you can see that when this broke out here, right, 1020, what was I doing? I was super focused on the tops. Here it is, 1020 on this, because it was doing this, right? Moving around, trying to set up a buy setup, and jumping around all over the place. So when the DNA was ready to break out, I felt a little bit preoccupied. So I missed some aspects of the DNA that made it really, really nice. Okay, and I talked about it in the room. Like when I came on the mic, I guess, which was like around this time, right? I was like, I think I missed a really, really good one, because the hourly was good. Look at the way that this is setting up the uptrend, right? Transitioning, we have the higher low here from this low, and then the high, and then by today's move, higher high. Here's the daily, also pretty nice, right? Also doing a similar transition. We just talked about transitioning out of a downtrend. There's a low, higher low, and then now today doing the higher high. So I said, I probably missed a really good one. And this is, and at the time I was looking at it because it was breaking out again. I was like, oh, it's too extended from the 5. Well, look how it finished the day, right up here. I think this went for over 4 hours. Yeah, based on that breakout in the morning. So that was a little bit disappointing, but that's how it is sometimes. But if I hadn't gotten involved in this like really kind of jumpy wild thing, better chance I might have caught the DNA. I definitely saw it initially in time, just didn't work out the numbers, didn't, and if I looked at it and I thought it was amazing, I would have just put in orders right away. But I think this one a little bit more nuanced in the hourly transitioning, in the daily transitioning, and then also the relative strength. So look at where it is at 10 o'clock. What is the Qs doing at 10 o'clock, right? Let's go ahead and remove this. Qs this morning at 10 o'clock at the lows. So you have the Qs coming back down to retest the lows. You have something basing it up at the top. That means typically if the market moves up, that thing will only move up further, okay? And so that's what the market ended up doing. DNA ended up being a really, really nice play. Now I did try scalping the SLQT. I did not have much success with this. I kind of just wanted to bring this up because I thought today, as far as the scalps, it was hard to get more than a penny or two out of things. You can see how sloppy it was. At times it did look really good. Sometimes it did get really nice and tight, and the level 2 had no spread. But it just was really difficult. Kept jumping back and forth on the SLQT. I thought FFIE had some nice moves in it. I wasn't able to catch them as well, especially off of the sell setup. I thought level 2 was a little tricky, but you can see the sell setup worked out nice. So I thought today, after a couple days, a few days really, starting with last week, level 2 was good. But then I thought yesterday was kind of difficult. As I mentioned, SLQT after the first like 10 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes, became difficult. And then the rest of the day kind of became difficult. So it was great on Friday. I think it was okay on Thursday. Great on Friday. Good on Monday. And then kind of Tuesday, we already noticed, not as easy of opportunities. And I thought today was overall pretty difficult as far as the scalps go. Okay, so, a little bit of a challenging environment. Like I talked about yesterday, just a lot of sloppy stuff, a lot of wild stuff. You really have to be careful because you could get into some trouble, could get hurt if you're not careful. Okay, but hopefully you had a nice day. I don't think if you stayed out of trouble, I think it was okay. It was definitely possible to put in a decent day. I think the day was pretty mediocre, but because the tops did work a little bit, there were a couple things, got a penny or two out of it, but yeah, the DNA unfortunately was a big miss. So hopefully you had a good day. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. Have a good evening.